Today's video, we're going to be checking out the new Diamond Select. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas Easter Bunny and Igor. The Easter Bunny is a citizen of Halloween Town, accessible through the Easter tree in the forest near Halloween Town. When Lock, Shock, and Barrel are sent to retrieve Santa Claus, they return with the incorrect holiday icon, and he is supposedly returned to his homeland, although no one can be certain of that. When Jack Skellington puts his Christmas plan in motion, lab assistant Igor works with Dr. Finkelstein, creating skeletal reindeer to pull Santa Claus' sleigh. This deluxe action figures of Easter Bunny and Igor from Tim Burton's Night Before Christmas come with an Easter basket, a piece of Halloween Town gift-making table. Collect all 4 parts in Series 5 and 6. Before we's get into the review, we's got to figure out how tall these guys are. So taking the tape measure and putting it next to the Easter Bunny, the figure stands at 5.5 inches in height. Moving on to the very small Igor, just don't call him that. The figure of Igor, putting it next to his feet, the figure is exactly 4 inches in height. Like the set that include Vampire Jack and Winged Demon, this set, including the Easter Bunny and Igor, also comes attached or included with part of the gift-making table. The table itself, I'm going to reach just off camera here for a second. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here, still here. This is the other table that came included with the Jack and Winged Demon. You can see that they don't really connect together. Instead, rather, they just sort of just kind of put them next to one another. They have the continuous Christmas lights running from the one side to the other side. And again, you can kind of just keep completing it until you get all 3 pieces together. We'll just sort of move these guys just out of the way for just 1 second. There we go. Move all the accessories out of the way. Just show you the 2 tables side by side. There's not really a whole lot happening with it. Interestingly enough, much like Jack, they also come included with some extra legs. I'm not really certain, again, where those legs are supposed to be intended to go to. By the way, there's the step right there. All the tables already have their legs. I had to install these ones, the 2 sets, the 1 set of the 2 legs here. But there's no other place where you can put these extra legs. They don't fit in the little slot areas here. They are specifically shaped, so I'm guessing that the 4 sets, or the 2 sets of 4 legs, are supposed to be included for the future releases that we're going to be getting in Series 5 and Series 6. That's the only guess that I have, because again, these, I've already got 2 sets of 4 legs. They really don't go anywhere, so we'll just kind of put those to the side. One of the other things to come included is part, or one of the things that you could put on the gift-making table, and of course, that's a little present. Put that right there. I've still got this ghost. Not really, again, certain where he goes to. Again, looking at the arm, really just doesn't seem to attach to anything. I thought it would drape around, but obviously it hits the bottom portion of the table. Nonetheless, again, it's just supposed to attach like that, maybe to the side of one of the lights. But if not for the hand being too long, you could easily just clamp it around one of the lights and call it a day. Other than that, it doesn't seem like it goes anywhere. It doesn't seem to fit anywhere. Unless you just, again, attach it to the lights and just call it a day. Like maybe it just sits like that. So again, I'm not really sure what to do with the ghost. Woo! So I'll just move him away. Quickly looking at the present and then delving deeper into the 2 figures in this set. It's a nice looking present. I don't know why I had all this dust on the top. Literally just took it out of packaging now, and it's got all this dust residual on it. The packaging is a very simplistic white box with some spots around it. I'm basically describing exactly what you can currently see right now. Black bow and ribbon running around the outer area of the package. And of course, if you're going to have a gift-making table, you got to have at least a gift, and there's one of them right there. You could also take the lamp from the previous set. I guess you could put that in the corner if you want. There's not really a whole lot happening right now, but assuming that as the figures are getting released, there's going to be more things that can go onto the table. So for the time being, I'm just going to move these out of the way here. I'm just going to put them to the side. Obviously, the meat and the potatoes of this review are the two figures that come included with the set, and that would be the Easter Bunny, which, why don't we look at his one accessory, and that is his Easter egg basket. The basket has some levels of wear and paint added to it, just to make it look like it's an older wicker basket. Even the underside gets treated to a little bit of dry brushing paint, just to kind of make it look like it's old. The eggs themselves inside are quite pristine. Obviously, if you're going to be hiding eggs, you don't want the eggs to look in the same shape as the basket is currently looking. The Easter Bunny can technically hold the basket, but it's not so much that you're attaching it to his hand. Instead, you're sort of just draping it over his arm, which does a fair enough job of keeping it at bay. It's not obviously going to go anywhere. Same thing on this arm here. Just sort of drape it around his arm like so, and he can hop along and deliver eggs to all the little children. The Easter Bunny itself is adorable, looking like it did in the movie itself. Paints, I always touch base on a little bit of the paint application. Paint is nice and clean and pristine. Little bit areas in which the pink has carried its way through, but mileage may vary. That will be different from obviously one figure to another. I've got a little bit of a scuff on the back there, but again, that's probably just my figure. The face is absolutely adorable. I just so want to pick him up and snuggle him. He looks soft, even though he technically isn't soft. He's made up of plastic, but he does have a nice texturing to it that gives him that sense that he's cuddly and he's warm, and you just want to snuggle against him and fall asleep. His face is, again, really cute. Little bit of a mouth happening right down below there. Probably could have been finished just a little bit more. I don't know if those are supposed to be his teeth right there, but the teeth sort of, if that is his teeth, they sort of get lost amongst the shuffle of all the fluffiness of his fur here. The eyes are painted in black. No real reflection, although they do cast their own reflection, just by the nature of the fact that it's a shinier paint that they use there. A nice shiny nose. Of course, you've got your, is it sash? The little happy Easter ribbon that's wrapped around the little body of the tummy of the Easter Bunny here. A beautiful looking figure. Pegals on the undersides of his feet. In all honesty, though, the Easter Bunny stands fine, although I do find he stands and leans a little to the side. It might just be the nature. It seems like this one foot or one leg is a little bit shorter than this leg here. As a result, the Easter Bunny sort of leans to the one side. Posability, his head is on a ball joint, so you can rotate the head all the way around. You can hinge it up and down. You can also rock it back and forth. The hands, or arms I should say, are working on one single hinge, so the arms can move out if he wants to give somebody a hug, or they can move in if he's trying to hide and hold on to his eggs, because those kids love to get their Easter eggs. So there is the Easter Bunny. Adorable, sweet, love it. Oh, by the way, if you also want to see how he scales, any of them scale with, say, the Jack Skellington that we've already had a look at. There is Vampire Jack. I did not, of course, forget about the little winged demon. We can put the winged demon right on his cradle. There we go. And there's what we've got so far for this series. No, I'm not forgetting Igor. I just quickly wanted to take a moment just to show you guys that. Taking it all in. Everybody got it? Mental picture. Snap, snap. Okay, let's move it to the side. We'll put those to the side, and we'll have a look at little Igor. So Igor comes with a display base. Ideally, you could get him to stand on his own. The Easter Bunny you could swap out and use that as the display stand for him. But either one of them, the figures stand fine. I just so happened to use this clear stand for Igor because I thought he had the smaller feet. As it goes for Igor, he looks exactly like he did in the movie. The little strands of hair, almost kind of reminding me of Linus from Charlie Brown. This would be Linus if he let himself go. Maybe he is wearing his blanket. But he's got a nice shape to him. He's almost the shape of a gumdrop with little spindly legs, with, of course, the peg holes on the undersides of his feet. The face sculpt, though he is hideous, has a certain cute little... He's got a cute little charm to him. The one eye's sealed or closed shut. The other big, giant eyes staring right at you. And he's got himself his little... He's got summer teeth. Some are there, some are not. He's only got a total of 3 teeth. A big opened mouth, although they've sculpted the mouth essentially as one piece. So there's really no... Obviously, you can't put your finger in there. He's got some nice patches stitched all around his body. A nice, again, dry brushing adding to it. So above and beyond simply just great sculpt, Diamond Select are really good at adding some additional paint to it, just to kind of bring out some of those sculpted details and giving him that certain dirty, grimy look that only Igor could possess. He's got his long lab gloves in a nice forest green. Coloring on him generally, for the most part, is off-white. Incredibly off-white, very dirty. And of course the gray. Everything coming together really grotesquely and very cute. Yes, I will even say that Igor here is a cute little fellow. Articulation on him, his head rotates. It is technically also what it seems to be on a ball joint, although you can't move it up and down as much as you can rotate it all the way around, which I probably wouldn't advise doing that. Of course, you know, that would kill him. His arms also are on hinges. These little spindly arms are on hinges. This one arm is a little on the stiff side, so I'm being a little bit more cautious moving it. But the arms also hinge out. They do pop out. There's the ball joint right there. There we go. And it doesn't seem like he's got any sort of posability in the gloves. Actually, talking about this, I don't know why I'm pulling the arm out to do this. Talking about this, I'm glad they went the route of using ball joints and ball sockets rather than a pin. If they had pinned this in place, similar to what we got with Jack Skellington, pins and hinges and stuff like that, I always worried that the joints may break. Simply by just having this a ball joint, it's the most cheapest, effective means at giving you good articulation on a figure without the risk of something accidentally breaking on the figure as you move him. Rounding out the rest of his posability, his legs technically do rotate. I, for the life of me, have the toughest of time moving this leg, so I'm not going to do too much of that. But the legs do move back and forth, and his little tiny feet don't have any sort of posability. You got your heart set on the fact that he did have posability in his feet. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but sadly, no dice. No dice on Igor. A fine outing from the folks over at Diamond Select. The Easter Bunny and Igor are both good entries into the realm of Halloween Town, and unlike Jack Skellington, which you had to be a little bit more careful at holding, these ones are nice beefy figures, and shy for a little bit of the spindliness in Igor's limbs, these ones you can be a little bit more manhandling with. Not that you want to be extremely rough with your figures, but these ones will be a little bit more durable to do so. Both the sculpts are absolutely exquisite, and of course paint is top-notch when it comes to the Diamond Select releases. If you guys are interested in picking up the Easter Bunny and Igor, or if you're interested in picking up the Vampire Jack and Winged Demon that we looked at in the previous video review, you should be able to find them now at your local comic book store. What? Say what? You can't find a local comic book store in your area? www.comicshoplocator.com. No, I'm not sponsored. I don't know how many people have said, are you sponsored by Comic Shop Locator? I don't even think they sponsor anybody. It's kind of like the Yellow Pages. I don't think the Yellow Pages would sponsor it. I just say that in case you can't find a comic book store in your area. I've used it, and I've found it did work, so I always feel the need to mention it to you guys as well. We're going to have a look at the Wolfman and the Melting Man. Oh, I just gave it away. We're going to have a look at that in the next video, so stay tuned for that. As always, guys, thanks for watching, as you always do. See you next time.